Alright, welcome back to Corpse Factory. We are going to continue to play as Kojiro and see if we can't get out of this chapter and see about that Aoi chapter that I'm really curious about. Because we looked at the achievements before, and this chapter, or this achievement, Act 2, has a picture of Kojiro, and the achievement for Act 3 has a picture of Aoi. Although I really do miss playing as Noriko. I didn't think I'd have to say that, but yeah, I kind of do miss playing as her, honestly. But let's continue here. Last I remember, we are afraid of Noriko, and somebody took all our corpses out of our morgue, which I'm a little bit terrified about, so let's see about this. A cursory glance shows that a good 90% of the cold chambers are unsealed. So yeah, the last time we left off, somebody took all of our corpses. And I think we think it's Noriko. I don't know if we've made a guess yet.
Fuck.
Yeah, fuck. My initial sense of uncertainty gives way to panic. I jog toward the left wall chambers and start pulling the sliding trays out one by one. Empty, empty, empty. One after another. Each chamber is devoid of its macabre contents. Even the HRPs have been removed.
Shit.
Yep. I come across one cold chamber that is still sealed. I press the release button in as I pull a hand forward. It could have been the police. They're investigating our neighbor. Maybe they think he got his corpses from here. The familiar hiss of cold air escaping the hollow space does little to allay my fears. I slide the tray out and sigh. Empty. It would seem that even the properly closed chambers have been evacuated.
Oh, fuck shit.
Yep. I dash towards the opposite wall. The row of cold chambers that store the bodies is not due for cremation. The road that Noriko isn't allowed to access to. But just like the other wall, every chamber is empty. Doors ajar, unsealed, empty. I don't think she would do this, would she? I thoroughly check each and every one.
No luck.
Yeah. I trudge towards the computer at the far wall. Logging into the inventory, I scan through the list of recent arrivals and departures. No bodies came in today, unusual but not itself a cause for concern. More importantly, no bodies have been checked off as they're removed from the premises. Each and every body that has disappeared from this place has not been accounted for. The correct protocols have not been adhered to. I can only draw one conclusion. The morgue has been robbed. Yeah, Ooh, maybe it was that jackass, the fat boy. Maybe he knows that we run this morgue. Hold on, I'm kind of off-center here. Hold on. Yeah, Fat Boy knows that we run this morgue. Maybe he, as retaliation, took all of our corpses. I don't think Noriko did it. It doesn't make any sense why she would.
Sorry to rock up so late.
It's fine. I was awake.
Okay. Bad news.
Hit me.
Morgue's been plundered.
Yeah, I don't think she did it. I think it was Fat Boy or the police, but I don't think it's the police because they would have stuck around and waited for Kojiro to come back.
Plundered? What, are you a pirate now?
Now's not the time, Noriko.
Wait. Your tone. You're not joking.
Nope.
No.
Explain.
All the cadavers have been stolen.
Yep.
Cold chambers are completely empty.
Fuck!
Yeah, my thoughts exactly.
How could you let this happen?
Bitch.
Me? I'm no security guard. Don't put this on me.
How am I supposed to acquire corpses now? How the fuck am I supposed to appease Corpse Girl?
Despite the fact that she's having a Noriko moment, I don't miss the fear in her voice. Appease Corpse Girl. That's something you'd say if you're referring to yourself. I think she would say that. She's clearly referring to someone else, some other being. Time to put her on the spot. Sick of always being 3 steps behind.
Who's Corpse Girl?
What?
Who is she?
Don't act dense. I'm Corpse Girl.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be funny, it isn't working. Now isn't the time. We've lost everything, Kojiro.
How about my job? You know, the thing that pays my bills?
I've got a couple of bodies here at the factory, but they're allocated to victims already. Corpse Girl gets any new requests, we won't be able to fulfill them.
And my job?
There, you did it again. You referred to Corpse Girl as another person.
Can you stop messing around? Don't you see how serious this is?
Yes, it's my job.
I do.
I do see how serious this entire situation has become. Noriko is delusional. She refers to Corpse Girl both as herself and another person. She pays no heed to the difference in her words, even when it's called out on it. She doesn't seem to be aware she's doing it. Could be a personality disorder. Can't blame on her if that's the case. Yet, it is a personality disorder. But I think it's more than that. I don't. She believes that she's being guided or goaded by Corpse Girl, forced to achieve her ambitions. There's more to it than a personality disorder. Something I'm not seeing.
So, what do we do?
What can we do?
Call the police? I don't know.
You'll have to break into another morgue. Start stealing corpses for me.
No. How about no?
No.
No.
What do you mean, no? Don't say no to me.
We haven't even kissed you.
I'd do just about anything for you. But sometimes, you need to know when to call it. There's no moving forward from here.
I can't give up, Kojiro. We've come so far.
Somebody stole the cadavers from the morgue. From my morgue. Somebody who knows what I'm involved in.
It's obviously Fat Boy and his gang of idiots.
It wasn't an attempt to stop what we're doing.
It was a warning.
What do you mean?
It was a message.
There you go.
Whoever did it wanted to prove that they are more powerful than we are.
It's your rivals, dude. And they're gonna get you fired.
Pulling several hundred stiffs from a morgue, all at once, without getting busted?
Yep.
That's something even we couldn't achieve. Someone knows our operation, inside and out.
It's Fat Boy or Owie.
Someone knows what we do and how we do it.
By the way, I'm still sticking to the theory that the Herald, the guy who runs the other operation, the rival of Corpse Girl, is Owie. Because unless they introduce a new character at the 12th hour here, we're nearing the end of this game, and there's no more characters I can possibly think of to be the Herald, other than Owie. And that Fat Boy is dating Owie, so I don't know. I don't know why it would be Owie. I don't know what's going on here and why she wants to fuck with Noriko, but...
They wanted to prove that they can do it better.
The human removal service.
Yes.
Who else?
Nobody.
Damn it.
Hope you can see the truth now. We can't continue with them in the picture.
You're right.
Yep.
Our next move is to destroy them. Destroy the Herald.
It's 100% going to be Owie, right? That wasn't exactly what I was getting at. I was trying to discourage Noriko from continuing with their operation.
What do you propose?
You said you'd do nearly anything for me, right?
If I get makeups...
More or less.
Then... hunt down Junpei Matsumoto. Again.
Do you do anal at least?
He needs to reveal the identity of his leader, the Herald.
Right. Didn't work so well last time.
Can't forget that night. Had the guy beaten and bruised on the ground, stubborn pup.
You were interrupted last time. Owie got in the way, didn't she?
This time, kill Owie.
Yeah, tried to defend her boyfriend.
You need to extract information from Junpei at any cost.
For what? Are you...
When you're done, kill him.
I have no problem with that.
Kojiro, my man, like, you're not even getting anything back here, dude.
But if Aoi is present again, I'll have to back down.
No, you won't. A few seconds of silence makes me ponder if Noriko still has her head in the conversation. I'm about to repeat myself when she finally speaks.
If Aoi interferes,
Cut off her head.
kill her.
There you go. See, she's gone full psycho. And just like that, Noriko's true heart is revealed. She will stop at nothing to achieve her goals. I was right to fear for Tomoe's life earlier. I was right to fear for my own. If Noriko will cut down her best friend in the world, then she will show no mercy to anyone else. This kind of resolve, this steel-hearted determination, I can't help but admire it. I respect Noriko.
If I do this for you, I want something in return.
Please. Anything.
What?
Be with me.
You still want me?
Never wanted you more. I'm in love with you, Noriko.
Finally. Put your cards on the table, dude. You're about to kill someone.
In case that wasn't clear before.
Okay. Take care of this issue for me, and you can call me yours.
I have a feeling that's not true.
I'll be your girlfriend, or your wife, or your mistress. Whatever you want.
Yeah, but is this really what you want, dude? She's not going to be into you. She wants you to kill someone for her.
My heart will be yours.
I doubt it. That's all I wanted to hear. I'm sure, but it's not true. All I needed to hear. I don't want to be alone anymore. I don't want to feel lonely. Noriko, Shinzuko, even Tomoe, it doesn't matter. I just want somebody to love me, to hold me.
Okay,
Well,
I'm on it. Leave it to me.
this is so dumb. Well, it's not dumb, it's just sad.
Thank you,
Ugh.
Kojiro.
This girl has absolutely no feelings for us, and we're about to murder for her.
I'm putting my faith in you.
I step back, turn around, look up, stare at the stars in the pollution-clouded sky. When we get together, perhaps we can live at Noriko's apartment. Dude, you all are about to go to jail. You're about to murder somebody. They're on your tail, dude. They arrested her neighbor. Like, you guys are fucked. Like, properly fucked. There's not going to be a happy ending here. My old place. It will be like coming home after a long absence. Noriko will replace Shinzuko in my heart. And life will go on. It's the same stakeout as last time. Junpei Matsumoto, in his infinite wisdom, posted on Noise about visiting the maid cafe today. Don't know why he doesn't set his profile to private. Especially after I followed him home last time. But I won't be following him again today. I'll confront him inside the maid cafe, a place where Aoi is unlikely to be, since she quit the job a while ago. That's why I also think she's the Herald, because she quit her job a while ago. What has she been doing? Although, did she really quit? If memory serves, she was dressed as a maid last time. Yeah, she was. Huh. Yeah, she didn't quit. It's not that I have qualms about killing her. You're gonna kill her inside the maid restaurant? Are you a fucking idiot? How are you supposed to be in Noriko if you're in jail? In fact, I'm not even bothered that Noriko is okay with ordering her death. I'm just thinking about the future. Yeah, you're gonna go to jail, bro. How are you gonna do anything from inside jail? When Noriko and I marry, we'll want friends and family. That's not my concern at all. I'm not worried about who's coming to your wedding, bro. There's not gonna be a wedding. Noriko will need bridesmaids, a maid of honor. Aoi will be perfect for one of those roles. Oof, dude. This guy's so delusional. By sparing her life now, I can kick off my new life with Noriko on a high note. I'm aware other people will be present in the cafe, yeah? I have no intention of hurting them, but they will see you. I'll force as many people as possible to evacuate, or I'll quarter Junpei somewhere private. Okay, if this guy goes into a maid cafe that's full of people, murders Junpei, and then doesn't go to prison, this game is ridiculous. That's all I'm gonna say. In fact, I'll be surprised if we don't all end up in prison. How are we not going to prison? Are the cops that bad in this game? The dog himself arises as I'm playing through the possible scenarios in my head. He waltzes through the front door, completely oblivious to my presence across the street. I'll give him some time. Let him get comfortable, lower his guard. The weight of the blade inside my pocket is unfamiliar. Not like it's so heavy that it'll restrict my movement, it just feels strange. Figured it'd be better not to tackle this unarmed. It's an emergency measure. After 20 minutes, I approached the maid cafe's entrance. Well, we're finally going to see inside this place. Yeah, not a fan of the atmosphere. Me neither. It's a little weird. I thought it'd be more like a 50s diner type thing. Or, I don't know, a Hooters. They're all dressed as maids, but, yeah. Too flashy for me. Prefer something more simple and more laid back. Junpei has a table near the far wall, alone. Not that I expected any different. A blonde maid trots over to refill his drink. He nods politely, but doesn't say a word. He hasn't seen me come in yet. Someone asks if I want a table. I don't respond. Someone else chimes in, something about paying the cover charge. I don't know. My attention is on the dog. No one attempts to hold me back as I march towards my prey. He finally sees me, but I'm 5 steps away, and it's too late.
Oh, what the?
What's up, fatty?
Long time.
You're crazy, man. Get away from me.
What's with his voice? Looking at him up close, he doesn't seem too worse for wear, considering our last encounter. I start to wonder if I went too easy on him.
Can I sit here?
I would have broken all his fingers.
Hell no. Get out of here.
Thanks.
I pull up a chair and sit directly across from him. The blonde maid before offers me a menu. Then she gasps, and I hear something shatter on the floor.
It's you!
Strange, Aoi didn't quit her job after all. Did she lie to Noriko? Did Noriko lie to me? I'm 90% sure it's her anyway.
Stay back, babe. I got this.
Yep, it's her.
Thought you quit?
Huh?
I thought you quit this job.
What? How would you know that?
I realized that I shouldn't spill any details about my relationship with Noriko.
Forget it.
Oh, you think you're hot stuff, right? Tailing me, beating me up,
What is with this guy's voice?
and now you're digging into my girl's business?
Did he get fatter? He sounds like he's wheezing.
The fuck is wrong with you, man?
Excuse me for a second.
I stand up slightly and lean over the table. Junpei recoils as my fist pummels his nose. So you're just gonna fucking beat up and murder this guy in front of a maid cafe with all the employees present. Unless Aoi's running this place by herself and it's empty. Like, what?
Sorry, had to do it.
I sit back down and wipe my bloody knuckles with the napkin. Junpei clutches his face and sobs. Aoi's visibly shaking, standing next to her dog, unsure how to react. By some miracle, I don't think anyone else around witnessed the punch? Really? For the best. Means we can get down to business without interruption.
Some questions for you.
He's not leaving this restaurant without being in handcuffs, right?
You broke my nose!
Shush. Haven't asked my question yet.
Aoi somehow gathers the courage to flee. I don't watch her leave, but I just get a sense she's gone to fetch for help. Yeah, she probably went to call the cops, because that's what anyone would be doing in this situation.
What do you know about the robbery of the hospital morgue?
What were you talking about?
Bullshit.
No, not the answer I wanted.
Junpei makes the mistake of possessing fingers. I jam a steel fork into the back of his left thumb and pin it to the wooden table.
You're going to give me the answers I want.
How is he not screaming as loud as he can?
Am I clear?
You're nutcase. You're psycho.
No. For my next question, how did you find out about my involvement with Corpse Girl?
It seems that Junpei is carefully weighing his response for the first time. Instead of outright defiance, he wisely chooses to grant me a satisfactory answer.
It wasn't hard, man. You're not the most stealthy dude around, you know?
Explain.
You and that blonde gal girl, Tomoe Watanabe, you're not cautious enough.
So he knows Tomoe's identity and her involvement. This hound is truly a liability.
It's not hard to tell you when you drive that hunk of shit van around town, dropping dead bodies off to corpse girls' targets.
He knows a lot. Way too much. How far does his knowledge extend?
I see. My next question, then. Do you know Corpse Girl's identity?
I think the real question is, do you?
I consider his words. Do I know Corpse Girl's identity? Beginning to doubt that. Had he asked me a week or two ago, I would have thought Noriko immediately. Now, the way that Noriko has been referring to Corpse Girl, I'm not so certain. I am, dude. She's just crazy. But I won't let his wounded mutt have the upper hand. I won't let him pry open gaps in my defense.
Wrong answer.
The only other piece of cutlery at hand is a metal spoon. I drive the slightly pointed rear end into the pointer finger on Junpei's already injured hand.
Corpse Girl's identity?
Fine. Noriko Kurosawa.
Interesting.
I see.
A hesitant tap on my shoulder from behind causes me to turn.
Leave him alone.
Aoi has somehow gathered a half-dozen other bystanders. They're all glaring at me, fists clenched, ready to try and forcibly remove me from the premises. How did you not expect this to happen? You're doing this in a public-ass place. You're an idiot, Kojiro. An idiot.
We're not done here. Come back later.
Let my Junpei go! Stop hurting him!
For an outwardly meek girl, Aoi has more courage than I expected. I stand up and stretch my neck. I'm not looking for a fight with a bunch of cafe patrons. Heaving a sigh, I dip my hand in my pocket and withdraw the knife. Flashing it in front of the mob says more than my words will ever could. You're going to jail, bro. Sorry. Like, this is the end of the chapter, because he's about to go to jail. They all back off, a few letting out snivels of despair. Aoi, either out of bravery or fear, holds her ground. A single watery tear welling in her left eye discloses her true feelings. Right, so he can't access corpses for Corpse Girl anymore. I'm assuming this is the end of his story. He's about to go to prison. And the chapter will end. And we're, like, Kojiro's no longer in the picture.
Leave. Everyone. Now.
This is such a bad idea. Like, how stupid. Doesn't take more than this animalistic primitive command to convince the crowd to disperse and rush to the door. Where are the police? Aoi is amongst the fleeing throng, and she mouths the word sorry as she catches Junpei's eye. Satisfied that we will not be interrupted further, I return my attention to Junpei. He sobs vocally.
Don't kill me, man.
I cannot believe this is happening.
I'll do whatever you want, you know? Please, I'm begging you.
I cannot believe this is happening right now.
I've got my whole life ahead of me.
Relax. Only one more question for you.
What? What is it?
Who runs the human removal service? Who is the Herald?
I'm being completely honest with you, man.
He doesn't know?
I don't know who he is. He wears this creepy-ass mask and never speaks.
Hey, the achievement for the last chapter, the end, is a guy wearing a mask and he has a hoodie. Or it's not a guy, it's somebody wearing a mask and they have a hoodie. Do we play as the Herald in the last chapter? Can't quite tell if this dog is being sincere or lying through his teeth.
I need more than that. Who would know his identity?
Shit. Look, man. The Human Removal Service. It's only the two of us. Me and the Herald. He recruited me online, you know? It makes me do his legwork. So, if I don't know who he is, no one does. Except him, of course.
Not good enough. Not the answer I'm looking for. I lean over the table once more, keeping my knife clearly within the dog's vision.
Not happy with that answer. Pick a finger.
Shit, no, dude, seriously. Ask me a different question. Please, please.
My thing is, I don't have a problem with this torture scene at all. In fact, I'm fine with it. I don't like this character, and I'm a little bit psycho myself. My problem is just the unbelievable... Like, the police would be here by now. There's about 1,000 witnesses. How is he not expecting to go to jail immediately?
Kojiro.
A voice I didn't expect to hear rings out from behind me.
Noriko.
What is she doing here now? Is she want to be What?
Enough.
Why are you here?
Yeah? Are you trying to get...
I overheard everything. It's enough information to use.
Is it?
Noriko strides forward. It's a little unnerving seeing her in the real world, away from the factory. She's been cooped up there for so long. Her pale skin looks almost otherworldly beneath the cafe's gaudy lights. For whatever reason, she's wearing her best clothes. They're almost clean, as though certainly from her own laundry. As though she recently did her own laundry, okay. She walks with purpose, one foot in front of the other, but her gait is unsteady and she's visibly trembling. At the end of her path, she rests her palms against Junpei's table and takes a calming breath.
You stole the corpses from the morgue.
No.
Yes.
Noriko doesn't miss a beat as she flashes her phone at Junpei. I can't see what's displayed on the screen, but the dog hangs his head almost immediately.
It was me. I robbed the morgue.
Noriko pockets her phone and then she tosses a small bundle of bandages onto the table. Bandages? Junpei hastily grabs the offering with his good hand.
Get out of here. Get Aoi to bandage you up. And not a word of this to the police.
How? What about all the other patrons? It doesn't have to be him. It could be anybody called the police and this motherfucker goes to jail, and Noriko. What about the people who own this fucking restaurant? Are they not here? Where's the manager?
Yes.
With a great deal of effort and a grimace, Junpei plucks the cutlery from his pierced hand and yelps. Not daring to remain in my presence any longer, he bolts towards the door.
We're just letting him go?
Yeah, what do you expect to do? Are you gonna cut his throat here?
Yes.
Don't understand.
I do.
You don't need to.
Don't like that. Don't feel comfortable not knowing what's going on.
What did you show him on your phone?
Leave it, Kojiro. Put the knife away. You're leaving.
I obey her orders, returning the knife to my pocket. It's interesting how we refer to Junpei as a dog, and we're taking orders like a dog. I follow her unsteady lead, and we exit the empty maid cafe. It's empty? I don't know. That scene was kind of unbelievable to me. As in, I didn't believe it. Noriko gasps unhealthily as she quickly consumes her weight in water. With a loud swallow, she brings up her sleeve to her lips and wipes her mouth dry. The empty water bottle clatters against the concrete, and Noriko's gaze returns to me.
That's a bit better.
The visit to the maid cafe got the better of her. She spent too much energy intervening in the conversation, or in the confrontation. But her motives for doing so remain unclear.
Fill me in.
There's no need to kill Junpei.
Why? He knows everything. Knows me, knows Tomoe. He knows... you.
Noriko hesitates, but she doesn't flinch at the revelation. Something tells me she already knew this much.
Junpei Matsumoto will be dead by sunrise. I made a request, Kojiro.
A request. The first thought that jumps out at me is she requested for the corpse girl to kill Junpei Matsumoto. That's a ridiculous notion, isn't it? What's also ridiculous is we now are publicly linked to him at the restaurant, and he's gonna die tomorrow. Won't the police immediately come look at us and Noriko?
I see. I don't think Corpse Girl can take care of him.
We'd be the first suspects.
He knows her whole operation.
Noriko's raised eyebrow conveys her confusion.
What? No. I didn't make a request through Corpse Girl's website.
Yeah, human removal service, but he's part of it, so why would they kill him?
What would be the point of that?
I shrugged because I truly don't know what else she could have meant. She obviously meant she doesn't...
I used the other website.
Yeah, but he works there.
The Human Removal Service. I made a request for the death of Junpei Matsumoto.
I love how smug she's acting, even though it's a ridiculous thing. He already said that making a request through the website wouldn't work because he works there. He's the only other person. Oh. But again, what good would that do? Yeah. Junpei's an accomplice. If his colleague, the venerable, supposedly immortal Herald, receives a request to kill him, it would simply be ignored. Unless... a startling realization dawns on me, he doesn't really work with him?
Shit, of course. Why didn't I suggest that?
A haunting smirk is inscribed across Noriko's features. She knows that I have finally drawn to the same conclusion. He doesn't work with the Herald.
The Herald is ambitious. His convictions are strong. Absolute.
Okay, he does work with the Herald, but they, for some reason, thinks that he'll kill him anyway.
Just like mine. Like corpse girls.
You got a photo of yourself and you didn't kill yourself.
Corpse Girl's convictions, huh? Corpse Girl would never reject a request.
She did.
That's right.
You did. You rejected yourself.
Junpei Matsumoto is disposable. A pawn.
Did the game forget that part? We got a picture of ourselves. We still don't know who sent it, by the way. This is a long time ago. This is like chapters ago. This was like part 3 of my now 11-part Corpse Factory series, but we got a picture of ourselves. We still have no idea who sent that picture of us. It wasn't Tomoe when we were fighting with her. We don't know who sent it. My theory was always Aoi did it, but I don't know. Everything I seem to think about Aoi isn't true. I don't think she's going to turn out to be the Herald, but again, that's not true that they take every request, because she didn't take her own request.
The Herald will deal death to him in the same manner as any other nameless victim.
How do you know this?
I see.
But more important than Junpei being killed is what we will discover in the aftermath.
Explain.
By knowing that Junpei is the next to be targeted, we can observe him and witness the Herald's killing method firsthand.
It's brilliant. No, it isn't. Noriko has laid the perfect No, she hasn't. By sparing Junpei's life today, we have set him up to be slaughtered by his own compatriot. And we can use his death as a means to uncover exactly how the Herald brings his load to his victims.
I have to add it to you. This is a pretty fantastic plan.
It isn't. Am I missing something?
I know.
A few things.
You have doubts?
Yes.
Not doubts, exactly.
It's exactly what I feel.
Firstly, how do we know exactly when Junpei will be killed?
Noriko sweeps her hair behind her ears and scoffs, as though the answer should be as clear to me as it is to her.
I specifically requested the time of death.
You can do that?
The Human Removal Service demands it.
Interesting. Second topic. What if you're wrong?
What?
What if the Herald isn't willing to kill his own ally?
What if?
In that case, it will prove something important. It will prove that we're dealing with a complete amateur.
Then what does that make you?
Someone whose convictions could never reach the strength of corpse girls.
That's not true. You didn't kill yourself. How is that? And just like that, Noriko reaffirmed my earlier suspicions. Corpse Girl truly would destroy her own allies in order to see her ambitions fulfilled, but not herself. Tomoe and myself, our souls are shackled to Corpse Girl's own black void, yet we are not safe from her wrath. Should Noriko will it, our flames will be snuffed out in moments, but you know how it works, so you won't fucking die. We are nothing to her. Dirt, dust, ash. Yeah, no, you're not, dude. We will be blown away like the useless, incinerated remains of a cadaver.
Understood.
Are you worried about getting fired, by the way, because all the corpses were stolen under your watch?
Let's uncover the secrets behind the Human Removal Service.
And let's get my job back because I'm about to be fired. Really? Okay. Another early morning. If you can call it that, having gone to sleep yet, so it feels like feels like a late night. Noriko has me on a short leash. Thinks she knows it too. Yeah, you're her dog. Like you keep calling Junpei a dog, but you're a dog. Apparently she specified that this is the place of Junpei's death. Don't know how she knew of it. This parking complex belongs to Junpei's apartment building and extends 2 or 3 levels underground. Again, Noriko specified the exact location of death. The human removal service seems to take the user's request very seriously. Reminds me of that SpongeBob episode. We will never deny a request, even the well, we will never deny... What was it? We will never deny... What is it? We will never deny a guest even the most ridiculous request. This is this game right now. We shall never deny a guest, even the most ridiculous request. For fuck's sake. Alright.
How much further in?
Shh. Keep your voice down. I'm just looking for a good vantage point that we can hide.
Her words are severed by a violent gasp. Unable to speak another word, she simply points. My eyes obediently follow the direction of her slender figure. He's already dead. Yeah, that's the dude in the picture for the last achievement.
Oh.
That's Aoi. That's a girl. She's wearing a skirt. I don't want to be sexist and say guys can't wear skirts, but it's fucking Aoi. She has like a what's it called? Split personality. She has like another ego or whatever. Another, fuck, what's the words at the tip of my tongue? She's anyway, she's 2 people.
Disappointing. Missed the main event.
No, you didn't. She's right here. Why don't you go confront her? Junpei Matsumoto is already dead, but she's right here. He's floating in a sea of his own lifeblood. Vicious stab wounds practically grow red along his back. After examining his remains, I turn my attention to the less interesting figure, standing motionless beside him.
You.
The masked stranger looks like a villain from a B-rated slasher film. It's Aoi. He's covered from head to toe in dark clothing, a zipped-up jacket with extra-long sleeves, a hood, a skirt. The cut of the figure's clothing, combined with his physique, gives me the impression that he may in fact be female. It's Aoi. Is this the herald we've been searching for? The bloody corpse at her feet would suggest that it is so.
That mask.
The mask? It's simple white, probably porcelain. It's reminiscent of something, some fictional character, or maybe some film villain after all. The herald still hasn't moved. She's still a statue, gaze vacant, her eyes impossible to discern behind the mask. Maybe Aoi's pissed that we didn't tell her we were Corpse Girl, because we're supposed to be her best friend.
Are you the herald?
For the first time, the figure moves. It's a startling jerky motion like a mannequin or a puppet being pulled by strings. Her head cocks to the side and she seems to notice our presence for the first time. But an answer to Noriko's question is not forthcoming. I step up to the plate.
You really immortal?
What? The herald doesn't react to my voice like she reacted to Noriko as she has turned to a stiff, doll-like state. Pretty easy to prove someone or something is immortal, but I've always had a curious mind. I draw the knife from my pocket and launch it at the mannequin. The blade embeds itself in the thing's shoulder, and she doesn't feel so much as a flinch as a trickle of blood pulls her on the shining steel.
Oh, Mr. Hart.
Ojiro, why did you do that?
It's Aoi. I shrug and take a step towards the herald before Noriko tugs at my coat and holds me back. She takes my place and puts herself between me and the herald.
Tell us who you are. We deserve to know that much.
It's me, Noriko. It's Aoi. Something in Noriko's words, the sound of her voice, or the tone of her plea, causes the herald to move once more in acknowledgement. But the motion this time is quick, fast, calculated. The herald moves a sleek, sleeved hand to withdraw the knife from her shoulder, and she allows the blade to drop onto the concrete ground with a dull ting. Before the knife hits the ground, the herald turns her back to us and breaks into a sprint. Didn't see that coming.
Shit. Not cut out to chase her.
Why? She's injured.
Don't bother. We won't catch up.
The herald disappears in the darkness of the parking lot. We are left standing by a corpse of Junpei Matsumoto.
Well,
We know that she personally murders them.
we didn't see the killing, but at least the request was granted.
I still can't believe that the request is granted, by the way. So my theory now is it's Aoi, because it's the only other fucking character in the game besides Shinya. And I don't think it's Shinya, because I didn't look... Well, Shinya's kind of small. But... And he could be wearing a skirt, but I doubt it. Anyway, I don't think it's Shinya. I think it's Aoi, and I think Aoi has like a split personality. I think she's shy and blah 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 blah, and she's also a fucking psycho. And I think she's really mad at Noriko because Noriko's never told Aoi that she's Corpse Girl, and Aoi keeps... I mean, it's got to be it's the only other person. Everybody else is dead. All the characters from the beginning are dead. All the characters we met, Ida's dead. She's the only other character. The neighbor got arrested. His daughter got taken. I'm trying to think of any other character in this game. It has to be Aoi. It has to be. Unless they're going to introduce a new character, which would be kind of stupid in my opinion. The Herald killed her own ally. She has proven her convictions are strong. Or she's just crazy. I crouched down to examine Junpei's corpse, but it's hard to get a good look at his darkness. Regardless, it's clear that the dog is dead.
Should we leave the body?
Yes.
Going to send a text.
Huh? Who are you messaging?
See if I can pull a few strings. Wouldn't mind if the corpse ended up at my morgue.
What are you planning?
How are you not fired?
Nothing. Really. Just want to prod and poke a bit.
Or being investigated by the police. All of your corpses got stolen. Noriko's subsequent grunt is a clear indication she doesn't fully believe me.
Do what you want.
When are you gonna kiss me, by the way? We're girlfriend and boyfriend, right?
I've gained as much from this as I had hoped.
When are we gonna have some sex? I let her trail off as I continue my attention on my phone. I swipe through the contacts and quickly compose a message to a few people in particular. If all goes well, an investigation team will shortly arrive and examine the scene. I'll be gone by then, but if my contacts did their job correctly, they'll haul Junpei back to the morgue. I pocket my phone and scurry towards the blood-soaked knife that I launched at the Herald. It slides into my pocket, and I signal that to Noriko that we should depart. So, Aoi's blood is also next to Junpei's. I don't see how they couldn't investigate that. Also, won't they be suspicious that he just texts? I don't know. I don't know.
Junpei Matsumoto.
She waves half-heartedly at the corpse and lets out a childlike giggle. A scant few hours of sleep didn't offer much in the way of refreshment. I have to be at the morgue again in an hour. Not that there's much to do besides not that there's much to do since the place was robbed. Perhaps a few more cadavers will have arrived. Perhaps Junpei Matsumoto's corpse will be there. I should take this opportunity to take a breath. It's been a while since I slowed down like this. No requests coming through for Corpse Girl. No bodies to haul around with Tomoe. No cadavers to catalog at the morgue. Life should be good. I'm still alone. And Noriko may decide to discard me at any moment. Why does that make me want her more? I don't know, dude. You're thirsty. Do I want to prove my worth, my value? Prove to her that I'm worth keeping around? Don't know. Doesn't matter in the long run. After brewing myself a cup of coffee and using the French press Tomoe gifted me, I take my seat in my chair. Sitting alone in the darkness is somewhat depressing. It is. I feel depressed right now. But it's only temporary. I won't be alone forever. You might if you go to prison. You might find a boyfriend, but I don't think you're in that. Soon Noriko will sit here with me. No, she won't, bro. She won't do it. And if she does, it's... out of obligation, not because she wants to. We'll be together in the darkness. I'll make her see my worth. It's not about your worth, dude. You don't have a vagina. I keep trying to tell you this. I'll make her love me the way I love her. I'll make you fill the void that Shinjuku left in my life. I'll make her treat the gnawing pain in my insides. I'll make her save me from falling into despair, from falling into my old habits. Noriko will save me from myself, just like Shinjuku once did. I take a sip of my coffee. It's still a little hot, and it scalds the gap in my mouth where my tooth once was. It hurts. But I'll be okay. Soon. It's hard to hide a smile when my plan folds perfectly. The body was here, waiting for me when I arrived at the morgue. Staring down at my pallid corpse of Junpei Matsumoto fills me with more satisfaction than I thought possible. The dog is dead, and my early morning encounter with his executioner wasn't some fever dream, but born from wishful thinking. His body is riddled with stab wounds, deep, clean, piercing cuts. But these injuries were not inflicted by a knife. I'm no forensic pathologist, but the wounds were too thin and too deep. Each intrusion is about the width of a chopstick. Doubt he was killed by chopsticks, though. You can never rule out anything. My gaze pans down at his body, looking for anything of interest. The rest of his form looks ordinary. Nothing to note. I'll zip up the bag for now and return him to his allocated cold chamber. Might take him out once in a while to have a laugh. As I raise the zipper, covering his legs and groin, I have to shift his arms to fit them within an HRP. But then I flinch, and my hand instinctively retracts from the cadaver. I'm used to the ice-cold touch of a body fresh from his contained chamber, the sensation of a lifeless, preserved flesh. Thus, it wasn't the sensation of touch that caused me to startle. It was the sight of something out of the ordinary, something I'd missed during my initial observation. Junpei's fingers. 5 thick, meaty digits on each hand. 10 perfectly intact, dead, but otherwise healthy fingers. It's not Junpei. It was only days ago that I pierced 2 of his fingers, his thumb and his pointer finger. He used cheap metal cutlery. I can't forget the distinct feeling of plunging those implements through the flesh and bone and pinning his fingers to the table. The corpse before me shows no evidence of her being injured in such a manner. What a surprise they didn't kill Junpei. Nobody can heal his wounds like that without medical attention. Even then, stitches and scars will remain. But Junpei Matsumoto's digits are 100% intact and puncture-free.
Interesting.
Come to think of it, didn't I snap another few of his fingers in half that time I confronted him outside of his apartment? I'm sure I did, crushed the bones with my own fist. But this corpse's hands still show the sign of that either. Normal to the touch, no visible bruising. On a whim, I pull out my phone and open noise. I navigate to Junpei Matsumoto's profile. Load a few profile images, swipe through one by one. I pull my phone right next to Junpei's head, comparing the similarities between Junpei's photos and his dead body. Everything becomes clear immediately. Certain elements of Junpei's features don't match. His nose is broader than the photos, his lips are thinner, more taut. The corpse in front of me is not Junpei Matsumoto. It's a copy. A clone. Junpei Matsumoto's death was faked for our entertainment. The body lying on the ground in front of the Herald was planted there before we arrived. Planted to have convinced us that Junpei had met his maker. The Herald did not kill Junpei. The Herald is simply using one of Corpse Girl's tricks and produced a carbon copy body. All in order to fool myself and Noriko. As this revelation settles in my mind, I came to another conclusion. The morgue being robbed was no coincidence. I can almost guarantee that the cadaver used to replicate Junpei's death was stolen from this very place. A weapon of deception stolen and turned against us. And the morgue was targeted before when Noriko requested Junpei's death. Almost as if the human removal service predicted Noriko's movements in advance. Is that even possible? All I know for sure is that the dog is still out there, still skulking around, working for his master. This is starting to get interesting. Okay. No Tomoe this episode. I'm kind of missing her.
Okay, I think I'm up to date. I guess it was a good thing you decided to prod and poke Junpei's corpse, as you put it.
Guess so.
I thought you were just being your usual morbid self, taking corpses for your own use, whatever that may be.
Don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'm glad you acted. Faking Junpei's death. What's their end goal? What did they really accomplish by pulling such a stunt?
Getting you off Junpei? There's a billion possible answers to that question. Can't know the real truth, not yet.
Obvious answer would be that they wanted to deceive us. Make us think we have the upper hand.
I came to the same conclusion. They think they've fooled us, but we know better. Can we use that to our advantage?
Can I just say, when I was first, at the first few episodes of this game, I thought the end conflict would be us versus the police. I'm still amazed that the police are not a bigger thing in this. Like, they're casually mentioned, like, yeah, the police are investigating a corpse girl and they arrested the neighbor and all that. But I thought it would be us trying to get a few steps ahead of the police, not us fighting a copycat.
Don't know.
Sometimes you're helpful, and other times you're just...
Where's my anal? Where is my love making? Where's my kisses? I did what you asked.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
It irritates her when I withhold my thoughts. Sometimes I act like this just to elicit a reaction from her. That's healthy. She's cute when she's pissed off.
I don't know what we should do next. We're kind of at a dead end, right?
Kind of.
Corpse Girl's website has gone silent. No one is requesting deaths anymore. But if I'm to believe the news, there are still dozens of people being killed all around the city. Which means the human removal service is still as active as ever.
Don't beat yourself up. Don't have any cadavers at the morgue anyway. Can't exactly fulfill any requests.
True.
She sighs and rubs her eyes. Despite her tired, exhausted appearance, she's dealing with recent events rather well, for Noriko at any rate.
Can you let me know when the morgue starts filling up again?
Sure. When are we going on our date, by the way? You want to sleep over at my place, or should I sleep over here?
Sure. Hang on. There is one body there. Fake Junpei.
Yeah.
Not much use, though, I suppose.
No, not really. Keep me updated.
Okay.
She rubs her eyes again and tries to hold back a yawn.
You look wrecked.
Sorry. Things are tough right now.
It'll get better. You'll cause some deaths soon enough.
My words have the strange effect of actually cheering her up slightly. I know we're not exactly the most normal people. The thing is, the causes we devote ourselves to, they are wrong. There's no other way to put it. I know this. I trust Noriko knows this as well. She doesn't, by the way. She thinks it's totally righteous. We're morbid, sick, disgusting. Noriko slaughters innocent people in the name of Corpse Girl, her fabricated idol and alter ego, or whatever else she may be. As for me, I've got as much blood on my hands as Noriko does. She likes to believe she's innocent, but the truth is that she's as guilty as any killer. I don't see myself the same way. I know for a fact the things I've done are enough to put me behind bars for the rest of my life. That's what I'm saying. I don't try to convince myself that I'm something I'm not. I'm a criminal, plain and simple. But Noriko is a kindred spirit. We're connected on the same level that I don't expect the average person to understand. We're bonded by the things we've done, the death we've witnessed. Looking at her now, this tired girl worn thin by the stress. I can't help but be reminded of Shinzuko. I messed up with Shinzuko. I didn't take the time we had together seriously. I took it all for granted. I won't make the same mistake with Noriko. I'll make her mine, and I'll prove my love to her every day. Perhaps that will convince her not to discard me when I run out of use.
Want something to eat?
She glances at me and opens her mouth, but weighs her words before speaking.
Thanks, but...
Wrong thing to ask. Ask her for coffee.
You know me.
I know.
Of course I know. I know so much about her. She doesn't eat. Not unless she absolutely has to in order to live for another day.
Something light? A salad? I want to share a meal with you.
I can't.
Get her an iced coffee or whatever the fuck she drinks.
Okay, I understand.
I do, I get it. It's no Rico. Her convictions are what I admire most about her. You admire her eating disorder? What would it say of her character if I could break her convictions with a simple invitation? Well, this isn't exactly a good conviction here. Like, her conviction is to not eat, so she looks thin and pretty. But in reality, she's turning into a fucking skeleton because she has an eating disorder.
We should get married.
Dude.
Huh?
A few days ago, you said you'd be mine.
Oh yeah, what about that?
I told you something like that, yeah. But that had a condition. You had to kill Junpei.
Dude, just get the fuck out of here. It's not... She's right, I didn't manage to kill him because she told you to stop. Does that mean I don't deserve her? She fucking told you not to kill him. You were going to.
Maybe there's something else I could do? Let me prove that I'm a man you can love.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
I'll take that. It's better than an outright no.
Maybe you should get going for now. I need to sleep.
You need company?
Okay.
I'll leave her be. Should get some sleep myself.
Later.
Bye, Kojiro.
Something about the way she says my name sends a chill down my spine. It's not a pleasant sensation. It's not a feeling of elation or excitement. It's uncomfortable, disconcerting. I shrug it off and leave the factory. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Okay, this is Kojiro and Shinzuko, I assume. I have an uncannily vivid recollection of dragging Shinzuko's corpse to the streets the night she was killed. I witnessed the collision. I watched speechless as the asshole who ran her down drove away like a coward. It took me a while to gather the strength to collect her crumpled body from the asphalt. By then it was around 7 o'clock. The sun had set, but a sliver of light still peeked over the horizon, tinting the sky with an orange hue. People kept screaming at me. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't trying to smear Shinzuko's blood on the sidewalk. Just wanted to take her home. She was hurt or dead. No point in leaving her in the middle of the road. She didn't comment on my suit. Got all dressed up just for her. Didn't comment on the ring, even as I slipped it on her stiff finger. She didn't say a word about the size of the diamond. But she made a unique sound as we walked. It rings in my ears now and then, especially when I catch myself in quiet moments. Didn't know that's what it was at the time. It punctured the silence between my heavy footsteps. Turns out the sound was caused by the fabric of her dress stretching and ripping across the corpse texture of the sidewalk. I was about to ask if she was naked, because it looks like she made the sound the entire journey home. My footsteps thud, thud, Shinzuko. People screaming, ah, ah! The cacophony of irritating noise assaulted us during the entire expedition. Silence didn't rear its head until we arrived at our destination. It wasn't easy getting her up the stairs to my apartment. I'd carried her in my arms a dozen times, almost always effortlessly, but during the final ascent, Shinzuko's weight exceeded the limit of my muscles. I had no choice but to drag her up slowly, a single step at a time. It wasn't my fault her head cracked against every step. Once we were inside, I finally had the opportunity to examine the damage. Her limbs were flattened, her chest caved in, ribs crushed, and the ground into a fine dust. Remarkably, her beautiful face remained unmarred. She looked at peace, despite having died in pure agony not long before. And that was the last time I kissed her. I planted my lips on hers and kind of comfort and slight warmth that still remained. Then I closed her eyes. My memory of that event is so clear that thinking about it feels like I'm reliving it again for the first time. The pain isn't dulled. But I'm glad I don't live in that apartment anymore. Climbing those steps every day would only serve to remind me of dragging Shinzuko behind me. I cut myself free from those chains that shackled me to her, but I can never destroy the memories. I think they'll haunt me to the end of my days. Perhaps that's why I'm so desperate to fulfill the void left in my life. I'm desperate to distract myself from the love of another. And yet, at that time I didn't want to let her go. I wanted to hold her cold, lifeless corpse to my body, and simply waste away so I could join her in the afterlife. In fact, I was so attached to her corpse that I did something I'd never done before, not once in the history of toying with dead bodies. I decided to keep her. Yeah, this is what I thought was going. He's in the closet. Don't know whether it was out of desperation, out of despair, or desperation, or depression. Don't truly know why I decided to do such an odd thing. Possessed by a single disturbing idea, I emptied out the small storage closet in the old apartment, discarded everything within. And then I carefully, delicately, lovingly placed Shinzuko inside the dark space. She stood up against the wall almost casually, like she was alive. I held her in place with some rope fastened to the wall, a loop around her neck, and a few bindings around her waist. Again, the police, like, didn't see you dragging her all the way home. What is going on with... Are there no police in Tokyo? Like, are there none? Are there no police in Japan? You guys don't have police over there? Because in America, you wouldn't get one block before somebody would call the cops on you. And your ass would be going to jail like, what the fuck did you do? She sagged a little, but it wasn't overtly noticeable. There, Shinzuko stood before me. Though her gaze was lowered, I could almost fool myself into thinking that she wanted to greet me. Or she wanted to simply say goodbye. Goodbye. Something I never considered saying to her. But I knew it was time to say goodbye to her and say goodbye to myself, the me that shared a life with her. The me that lived in shame of the things I'd done. In a small storage room, I piled the evidence of my guilt. All the macabre and sickening paraphernalia I collected over the years, found a new home within the dark space. Photos of corpses, tomes written in embalming and mummification, countless books by Noble Sinclair, the author I had so dearly to my heart. Everything and everyone that made up Kojiro had found itself inside that room. And with one last look at the girl, I slammed the door and locked it tight. The ceremonial act of locking away everything I once loved had a cathartic effect. But the moments after aren't exactly clear in my mind. I know that I sealed up the room and concealed the door, but I don't recall the effort that went into doing... Oh, this is still at Noriko's apartment? Is he talking about the fact that... That's what the smell is? It's not mold, it's her fucking rotting corpse? I know that I decided to leave the apartment behind, but I don't recall talking to the landlord. So, there's a rotting corpse in Noriko's apartment. I know that I tried to move on from being the person I once was, but I don't know how much I truly changed. Because just over a year later, I'm still in this world, taking part in truly disturbing acts. I'm still obsessed with the dead. I'm still fawning over Shinzu Noriko. Maybe people can't change after all. Maybe I've been fooling myself all this time into thinking that I'm different now. But I'm not. I'm the same as I always was. I'm still just Kojiro. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, can we end this chapter, please? Jesus Christ. This is hour 3 of this chapter.
Some good news for you.
Really? What is it?
A few new cadavers were in the morgue when I arrived tonight.
Ah,
Also, I was thinking
What about?
something funny. We went to such lengths to make sure we didn't get caught stealing cadavers from here.
And?
Well, it's amusing that the entire place was ransacked by the human removal service, but no one ever investigated.
How? 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 Where are the police? What is going on?
No one here seemed to really care.
Really? All of those loved ones, all of those people's corpses go missing, and not one of the families raises the issues with the police.
We tried so hard to cover our tracks, being careful about every single corpse we lifted. Then those assholes just waltzed in and stole everything without any repercussions.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
It makes me sick.
How?
I want to bring them down.
Yeah.
Anyway, how many bodies came in today?
4. Not a great deal, but a start. Give it a week or two, and this place should be packed once more.
Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know.
Of course.
See you.
Later.
Since I've already cataloged the new arrivals, I figure I can relax for the rest of my shift. I plant myself in the uncomfortable steel chair parked near the morgue's entryway. A few moments later, I'm lost within the flashing lights from the phone screen. Don't know how long I zoned out for, but when I come to, Noriko's name is emblazoned across my screen. Strange for her to call me now since we just spoke before.
Yo,
You're not going to believe this.
try me.
Somebody requested a death.
Ah, that explains the excitement in her voice.
Congrats. It's been a while.
It's been far too long. I thought we were done for. I thought Corpse Girl's website had fallen into obscurity.
Happy for you.
Kojiro, we can't let this slip through our fingers. We need a victory here. This new request has to be fulfilled immediately. I want this victim to die with a bang. I want his death to propel Corpse Girl's name back into the limelight.
Why would you want that? You already figured out that's a bad thing.
Roger. Awaiting your orders.
I'm sending you the Vic's photo. Get me a corpse that matches his appearance, just like usual.
Only got a handful of bodies here, remember? Going to be a long shot.
Do whatever the fuck you have to do.
Her icy cold command leaves no room to be misinterpreted.
Copy that.
The call ends and I immediately receive a message from Noriko. Opening up reveals the photo of a corpse girl's latest victim. Male, mid-30s or so, fairly unremarkable guy. Let's see what bodies are in stock. I heave myself off the steel chair and log into the morgue's computer. Scanning through the inventory only takes a few seconds. There are 5 cadavers in here total, the 4 that arrived today plus Junpei Matsumoto look like. Looking through the details reveals that out of the 5, 3 are female and 2 are male. I immediately rule out using the Junpei look-alike corpse for this request. It's a heavy-set body and doesn't match the victim at all. I'll need to take a look at the other male, but I don't look like the odds of finding a match. I navigate to the cold chambers and open up the cache house housing a corpse in question. The cold air spewing forth in the open compartment fogs up my glasses. I calmly remove them, wipe them against my coat, and return to their rightful place. After unzipping the body bag, I am met with the face of death, a sight I have become more accustomed to after many long years of working here. This guy is just an average-looking as Corpse Girl's victim. Seems like the type of person you wouldn't notice in a crowd. He's simply a blur against the sea of bodies. Might be exactly what we need. I compare his features to those of the victim in the photo. He looks similar, couldn't be exactly mistaken for a relative, but maybe a bit of Noriko's makeup handiwork and he might pass as a close enough copy. Only one problem. Unzipping the body bag further reveals that this guy only has one arm. His left arm has been severed, just below the elbow, leaving a surgical stump. It's something that clearly lived with for years because the area in question is clean. Probably had a prosthetic limb before being moved in the morgue. This particular feature is a deal breaker, too hard to convince the victim that his own corpse if he's missing a limb. Although, perhaps Noriko could factor the missing limb into the cause of death. If I bloodied the stump a bit, it could be made to look like he lost an arm before he died. I reached around my phone and called Noriko back, getting sick of the chit-chat.
You find a suitable corpse?
Almost. Got a guy about the same age and build. Plain face. Needs some work, but could do the job.
Great! I'll send Tomoe over with the van right away.
Just one thing.
What?
The body is missing an arm.
Oh, that is a problem.
Yeah. Can you edit the corpse photo so that the victim is missing an arm? Make it look like it got chopped off before he died. That way, when he receives the actual corpse, he'll be expecting a missing limb.
No.
No?
I'm already in the middle of making the photo. I'm not changing it now.
Then I don't know what to tell you. Don't have any other suitable bodies.
Make it work, Kojiro.
She's so lovely to work with. I see why he likes her. That venomous tone again.
What can I do? Not going to roam the street and kill someone that looks like the Vic.
Come up with something else then. Hell, chop your own arm off and attach it to the corpse. I don't care what you do. But I need the body within the hour. If you let me down, I'll never be with you.
Wow.
Our relationship is tied to Corpse Girl's fate. If you let her down, you'll let me down. And I don't like being let down.
My phone beeps twice as if to protest Noriko abruptly ending the call. Well, I'm going to abruptly end this episode because I've been going an hour. I have one save spot left. I'll just save over 3. So, this entire episode has been one bewildering thing happening after another. I cannot believe these people are not in jail. I cannot believe how villainous she's suddenly become. She's obviously completely bought into her own shit and is treating everyone else like shit. This guy is totally fucking delusional if he thinks that anything is going to happen with her. Just one insane thing after another. Honestly, it's getting crazy. And some of it, honestly, like, if I'm being just critical here, it was pretty bad. Like, confronting that dude in the restaurant with all those witnesses, and then nothing happening, like, no consequences at all. That was weird and really stupid. And then expecting the human removal service to kill Junpei was really stupid. I don't know. It's getting weird. And obviously, howlongtobeat.com is absolutely wrong because we're on hour, like, fucking 14 of this game. And we're on Act 2. And this act is, like, so far, I think I've done 3 episodes. So, yeah, I'm 3 hours into this act. No end in sight for Junpei's story here. And we have Aoi next, and then we have one more. I'm actually curious. Let me take a look real quick about... I already saved. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4... We have 5 more scenes that are brand new. This episode alone, we got 3 more. We have Aoi here. It's absolutely Aoi. Absolutely. I can't think of anybody else it could possibly be. This was sad, obviously. I had somebody I cared about one time who died in a car wreck. So I kind of relate to the loneliness and the terrible feeling, but... Don't relate to this, though. I didn't exactly take her fucking body and stuff her in a storage closet and then seal her off like a tomb. So, yeah. Kojiro and I are a little bit different on that part. Anyway, yeah, we got 5 more... Got 2 more acts. I miss playing as Noriko, honestly. Kojiro is just a sad puppy, dude. He's just fucking lonely. He's just a lonely dude. Nothing really else to him. He's just completely hungry for this chick. For any chick, honestly, anybody. He would date Tomoe if she was single. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching.